G'day guys, my name is Wildcard and welcome back to my channel. It's 2022 and the Super 12 is back on the table, baby. And Chiefs versus Highlanders, the first game in the New Zealand side of the Super 12 season was underway. This was played in a beautiful city of Queenstown, in this nice little, I guess, I wouldn't say semi-professional, this nice little clubhouse look like field, and it was just like fenced off, and they had fans watching the field from outside the fence. I thought they should probably just play these games in an empty stadium, because this did look like I'm watching a amateur game played, you know, in like, you know, on a Saturday. So this didn't really feel like watching a Super Rugby game. Just the settings, I felt like they should have just got in the stadium and have those CGIs posted onto the empty seats. Would have looked a lot better and probably made them a bit more money from the CGI advertising. They did have the CGI on the ground of the field, and so it's not like they didn't have access to the technology. They definitely do. And yeah, overall, this was a pretty like obvious, like, you know, this, you can tell this is a New Zealanders playing rugby. These teams are not afraid to run the ball out of their own try line, run the ball out of their own 22, and they're just not afraid to attack. They're very good at linking. Both teams are pretty good at linking with their own teammates. A lot of good handling between the players as well. And also, I've noticed there's something that the Kiwi team is starting to do a lot more. They don't really contest the breakdown as much. So the attacking team seems to be able to get the really quick breakdown balls almost all the time, except for those, you know, they really like pick and choose the opportunities at the breakdowns to try to turn the ball over. And if they can't do it, they literally have nobody there to contest the breakdown at all. So it's fast ball, good hard running rugby, pretty standard New Zealand style. However, the Chiefs did come out with a very clear strategy, especially in the first half, of wanting to pin the Highlanders down into their own 22 with the grubber kicks, just low grubber kicks behind the defensive line, constantly pinning the Highlanders inside their own 22 to force them to do some of those, you know, either force them to do a return kick. That's not gonna be that's not gonna go too far outside of their 22, or trying to get them to a defensive line out inside their own 22. And I think the idea is obviously the Chiefs have, you know, Brodie Retallick in the lineouts. Hopefully they're probably hoping for him to be one of the guys that be able to disrupt some of these defensive lineouts. But unfortunately, to my surprise, the Chiefs lineouts are by far the worst in the game. Like, it was horrendous. So they weren't able to put much pressure on these lineouts to steal the ball. Whilst they have their, when they do have the ball to do their own lineouts, they lost a huge amount of the lineouts. Not too sure what's happening. The commentator seems to be blaming the number 2, the hooker. What's his name? Yeah, Bradley Slater. But it could just be the players not really working with each other really that well. You think that, you know, having Brodie Retallick in the lineouts, this shouldn't be like this bad, but it was absolutely horrendous for the Chiefs in the lineouts. As a result of the Chiefs' good kicking game, Chiefs were able to really stay in front of the Highlanders throughout the whole game, keeping in control. In the second half, the Highlanders were able to mount a bit of a comeback, but the Chiefs were just a bit too far ahead for the Highlanders to catch up. For the Highlanders, they did look a bit rusty, at least more rustier than the Chiefs overall, except for the lineouts, obviously. They also look like they really wasn't sure what they want to do with the kicking game that the Chiefs were proposing to them. So they're looking at running the ball at times, looking at to box kick at times, and then it seems like there's a little bit of indecisiveness of what the Highlanders wanted to do. I think one of the I've also noticed there's a little bit of I guess I would say, like, there's a little bit of an incohesion between the 10 and the 9 in the Highlander side. So Aaron Smith and Mitchell Hunt, I think his name is, seems to be operating on 2 like different speeds. So yeah, Mitchell Hunt. So there's different speeds, and Mitchell Hunt is a bit slower, a bit more methodical, and Aaron Smith is a bit faster and a bit more I guess what do you call it, spontaneous, and they don't seem to click very well. This seems to be very clunky between the two. So Aaron Smith tends to try to push things a bit faster than Mitchell Hunt, and Mitchell Hunt's, like, when he gets the ball, things tend to slow down a little bit. and there's a little bit of a pace issue there going on. And also Aaron Smith, maybe because the fact that he only played one international games in like the last 6 months or even longer, like 7 or 6. He hasn't played an international game since like, you know, early in the rugby championship, and he's been away until he came back for the last game against France, where they lost. So maybe that as well. Aaron Smith looked a bit rusty. He did like some of the box kicks that just didn't really go anywhere. It just looked pretty poor. And also there was one of the tries that the Chiefs were able to score where Aaron Smith the guy literally just jumped over Aaron Smith, went in for a tackle, and literally just got jumped over. Like he hurdled over Aaron Smith for a try. So that was, you know, I thought that's pretty, you know, for someone the level of Aaron Smith, a little bit uncharacteristic. Also in the second half when Fakataba came on to replace Aaron Smith, that's when the Highlanders actually started kicking into gear, and that's when they started to look more consistent and starting putting more pressure onto the Chiefs and being able to pull back the scoreboard quite a bit. So yeah, it was an interesting game. Let me know what you think about the Highlanders' performance. Do you think Aaron Smith and Mitchell Hunt there is a bit of a issue between those two players working together? There may be a bit of a rustiness between the two. I thought there was definitely a bit of a pace issue between the two players, resulting in a lot of these plays, a lot of the Highlanders making a lot of mistakes. So just to give you an idea, some of the match stats for the game. Let's have a quick look. So 382 meters for the run meters for the Chiefs, 378 for the Highlanders. At halftime, the Chiefs were a bit more ahead, 191 to 167. Turnovers conceded. The Chiefs only conceded 8 turnovers, whilst the Highlanders conceded 17. This is the critical point. This is pretty much the point where the key stat that cost the Highlanders this game. At halftime, the turnover count was 4 to 8. So only 4 for the Chiefs and 8 for the Highlanders. And also the kicking game, both teams were managed 15 kicks at halftime. Yeah, so there's a lot of kicking, but both teams managed 15 kicks at halftime, except the Chiefs were like over 100 meters ahead in kicking in terms of pure distance. So they were totally getting out-kicked in the kicking game, so they weren't able to match up with the Chiefs' kicking game. And overall, the lineouts is probably the biggest issue for the Chiefs. So if we just go down to lineout, 5 lineouts lost with Brody Retallick. Are you kidding me? This has to be the worst performance in Brody Retallick's career. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable how bad this lineout was. And a lot of it was like unforced errors, so just overthrowing, not able to catch the ball cleanly. It was unbelievably poor. It was quite embarrassing. Penalties considered quite even, 10 to 11. So overall, I think the game really lost to the Highlanders because of turnovers considered, and it seems to be lost a bit of a kicking game as well. So yeah, so overall the game kinda let's have a look at the point summary. So yeah, overall the Chiefs 3 tries to 1 to Highlanders, and the Chiefs were, in terms of goal kicking, both teams were pretty even in terms of penalty kicks and penalty counts. So 3 penalties each side, but the Chiefs were able to score just more tries than Highlanders. Were able to capitalize in more of their opportunities. So essentially, Sam Cane gets his first try of the season, 16 minutes in, opening up the scoreboard for the Chiefs. The Chiefs were putting pressure on, and I think Chiefs had a scrum essentially, and then the Highlanders defense kind of drifted out. The Chiefs number 9 pops the boy up as he's getting tackled to, I think, the Chiefs number 12. Number 12 runs through a little bit, links inside with Sam Cane, runs in. Aaron Smith gets the tackle, and Sam Cane tries to rolling over, but it wasn't able to do so. So Sam Cane gets the first try for the Chiefs just before halftime. So Kula scores a try into the corner. So the Chiefs had a 5-meter line out. So Kula gets the ball out of the scrum in the back. He runs the blind side, a very short blind side, only about 10-meter gap or something in the scrum. And then Aaron Smith sees this, tries to tackle him, and the Kula just jumps over Aaron Smith. Didn't even get touched. Just jumps over, hurdles over him, goes in for the try. Look, way too easy for him there. And then the second half, Narawa gets a nice try for the Chiefs. Chiefs were kind of building phases, and then they recognized there was a big open field out wide. They spread the ball out wide. Brody Retallick gets the ball. He draws in 2 defenders. As he's getting tackled, he flicks the ball back up to Narawa, and he runs through just for this beautiful try. Just Brody Retallick set that up. I guess he kind of tried to redeem himself there from the poor lineouts. That's been happening all game. And then after that, on the 55th minute, that's when the Highlanders substituted on the reserve number 9, reserve halfback. And the pace of the Highlanders kind of changed a bit. And the Highlanders really able to lift a lot of the intensity a lot more and really able to kick up into a higher gear, it seems. So Highlanders were really starting to stage a comeback in the second half. On the 65th minute, looked like the Highlanders scored a try. It was really nice hands to the wing. There was the winger goes in for a try, and then they went back, and one of the passes to the winger was unfortunately a forward pass. But not to worry. A few minutes later, on 68th minute, Highlanders kept the pressure on, and Daniel Leonard Brown gets the ball, and he just like crashed through. There was like 3 Chiefs player on him trying to tackle him. He just like powers through with the leg drive, crashes in for a try anyway for the Highlanders. So yeah, it was really good effort from Highlanders there, and it was looking like the Chiefs were, this could be, Highlanders could have an opportunity to catch up, but eventually the Highlanders discipline cost them again at the end, where on the 75th minute, Chiefs were able to get a penalty, and Gallen pops the ball over, and with 5 minutes left, Highlanders needs to score twice to win the game, and so that wasn't looking like what's going to happen, and the game finished with the final score 26-16. So yeah, that's basically the review of the game, guys. Let me know your thoughts about Aaron Smith's performance this game, because for me, I felt like Aaron Smith's performance was probably not as good as I was expecting, and also let me know about your thoughts on Brody Retallick's performance. The lineouts was just absolute embarrassment for the Chiefs. Thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Coming up next, the Hurricanes versus the Crusaders, and finally the Reds versus the Rebels later this evening. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys a bit later tonight. Cheers.